the action. I don't know if we've started the series yet or not.
I am assuming that we are in match 1, unless that was a very drawn out technical round.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the start of the series. I messaged King. Yeah, we're good. I think that was a test round.
Okay. All right.
So what are you seeing here on the loadouts? From what I can see, 2 pretty fresh players into the game.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing worth noting is really on King's loadout. T3CHN0.WUBS is running fairly low-level weapons. Wildcat, Raptor, Hammer, Nova, those all come standard, and then adding on the Luma and the Lance. I actually do like his loadout, though. I think that's actually pretty solid. And meanwhile, King also running the Wildcat, also running the Lance, but running the Viper and Hammer Ellipse, and then running, I guess, additional Blinding Frostbite and the Lance R. So I think it's the first time I've actually seen this Frostbite.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick, kind of nade-like tool almost. You know, it really is it requires some quick dodging, and we're giving the go-ahead to both players, so hopefully they will be diving into the action soon, and we'll get to see what kind of bullet wall, if you will, T3CHN0.WUBS will be able to throw up there up against King. Because that's really what that loadout's about, right? It's the putting up that bullet hell and then trying to connect and zone with the Lance and connect with that Luma. It's going to be...
we'll see, because the hammer is much weaker, especially the base hammer, much weaker compared to the Hammer Ellipse. So, I mean, you know, when you're at this level of play, it's kind of hard to even get the, get the hazard set up in your opponent's play area with just the hammer. But with the Hammer Ellipse, it's a completely different ball game.
Seeing Techno there, I hopefully read our messages, and we'll be getting ready to get in.
We've already been sitting here for 15 minutes, folks. We'll sit here for another 15. Just for you, viewer. Just for you.
Yes, we need to see the Blaston action. We need to see new folks come into this game and experience what is the joy of Blaston. And, you know, for what it's worth, King does not seem to be too new. I think King is definitely going to be putting Techno through the works here, so to speak, and some good dodging coming from Techno as they try to dodge those lasers. Those do connect. The hammer comes out, doesn't quite hit. Here comes more setup from King, and great zoning from Techno as they try to reach over across for their gun. You can see them taking some of that damage and going down a run. And yeah, this is definitely, I would imagine maybe Techno's first kind of introduction into someone that can dodge like that. Oh, there's a good connection. Actually, I think
that was out of bounds damage, sadly. He hurt himself in his confusion. Ooh, catching the hand.
Good laser damage coming in. Techno getting totally zoned here, though. Has to be aware of that Viper Ellipse connecting, and there's the Wildcat to do the damage necessary. King.
Yeah, they tried to step to the left-hand side to get out of the way of the Wildcat, and they just got zapped to death by beams. Lance R is actually still really good despite its cooldown.
Interesting. Yeah, it's doing a lot of damage here against Techno and doing a great job of zoning them. Hopefully they can get the setup they need here. And they actually deny one laser well with their Nova and connect with the Luma. So some good damage coming in from T3CHN0.WUBS here. That hammer shotty doing some big chunks of damage there. And T3CHN0.WUBS doing a nice job of battling back here after a tough game one, losing 2 rounds quickly. They seem to be getting things together here. Another Luma connecting as they chip away at King.
Yeah, and King actually, outside of the Hammer Ellipse, doesn't really have a clean way of dealing with those Novas. You know, even an Aegis shield, but but the beams.
You gotta be careful.
The beams absolutely microwaving T3CHN0.WUBS there.
You let your hands drop down into a laser, you end up shifting into one as you're dodging. It is well, that's why it's brought into the battlefield for King right now. It's doing a great job of zoning Techno.
Yep. Yeah, actually, the Frostbite, I do now recognize the Frostbite that King is running. It's interesting because it gives the Frostbite 1 hit more collision than it normally would, but it changes the whole gravity of how the weapon's thrown.
A little bit of damage there, traded back and forth by King. Doesn't connect with the Luma there. Needed at least one of those from Techno's end to get things back into play. And I wonder if they're kind of realizing maybe by mistake that their Nova, or that their Novas are such a good denial of those lasers. So it seems like they're using them more. for that purpose.
Yeah, Nova's honestly one of the best tools to use early on, especially compared to something like the bunker. It gets shut down so easily, especially base Nova, that it's kind of hard to make the sell on it for normal higher level play. But here and now, it's definitely paying off, especially that one round where he did, I think, 60 damage right off the bat to King. Oh no, he steps out of bounds again!
Techno's learning the lesson the hard way of getting too aggressive. They're really trying to push into the front of their zone, get that gun as close as they can to their opponent, minimize the distance between the bullets and their enemy, but they end up pushing themselves out of their space. And again, the league runs, you know, all season, right? And so I think King has just gotten their placement matches. They've played 3 matches. This is their 4th. T3CHN0.WUBS, on the other hand, this is their first game into the season. So welcome to the VRML, I suppose, with a tough battle up against King.
And I don't know if he really even knows that he's taken out of bounds damage game.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the assumption, but the graphic is very similar to the laser graphic when you get zapped by the laser. So there's a good chance he's not even aware of what's doing so much damage to him. And there we go.
Ooh, 3 games into the books for King. But I feel like, if anything, I started to see there a little bit of a return to maybe some form from T3CHN0.WUBS. They did have a good back half in that series, managing to put up a good fight up against King. Not able to secure rounds, but still chip away at that health. And we started to see some Novas start to work there. And, you know, Dimwee pointed it out best earlier on this afternoon. I think one thing you really see the difference is a game for like 24 and U versus a matchup like this is that physicality. There's just a lot more aggressive movement coming into Dodge.
Yeah, there's a lot more and faster movement. I think that the other thing too is that T3CHN0.WUBS got off a couple really good Luma shots during those matches. Was consistently doing damage with that Luma, which is not an easy thing to do. It's just body awareness, especially with lasers. They have weird hitboxes that can be placed at angles, especially the Lance R, where the laser also sticks around for a lot longer than you'd initially think. It can be really difficult for new players to sort of suss that out before they actually get into these sort of professional matches. But welcome to Blaston, T3CHN0.WUBS. so glad to have you.
Hey,
hopefully this did not dissuade you.
Yeah, if anything, they've got some videos to look back on, maybe analyze their style, try and learn from what they were doing, and come back for their 2nd and 3rd matchups a little bit stronger. Either way, that's going to be it for us here tonight. Unfortunately, only 2 games for us to dive into. I'll be hopping into 1 or 2 matches tomorrow and Sunday, so keep the eyes peeled for that. But that's it from us. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. My co-caster, who I've been labeling as Sir Dimwee, is actually Dr. Oolong. Co-casting as Sir Dimwee, or cosplaying as Sir Dimwee. Anyway, we appreciate y'all for stopping by, and we'll see you all tomorrow for more action.
Y'all have a good one.